Good evening, everyone. My name is Jen, and I am the founder of Always and Forever. And this is our nightly Operation Be Brave check-in. I would love to have been able to be with Mikhail. I think we're going with Mikhail. That's how we pronounce it now. I selfishly was sharing with Julie on a call maybe 20 minutes ago how I missed that he was at Julie's because I didn't get my Mikhail fix today, and to say thank you is not enough as to what Julie did for that 30 hours and what Acute Vet and Phoenix Surgical Care, what they do 24/7 for Mikhail. It is amazing. I don't know that I can put into words or accurately, thank you, Lena, describe how sick Mikhail is. Thank you, Lena. Clearly, my dogs don't get enough attention that Louie is now. This always happens when I start a live. There's a party on me. Okay, we were talking about a very serious subject here, ladies and gentlemen. Gone rogue here. I miss Mikhail and I want to see him more. But we just shared the video. Louis, you're going to get the boot. We just shared the video of him walking assisted in at it's a mess. You too. Okay, we're all okay. This has gone to the dogs. Everybody is nuts. All right, excuse me, ladies, gentlemen. This live has gone rogue. Thank you very much, all of you. And so let's go with this. Mikhail is back in the ICU, and he is in the very, very, very best hands. It's amazing to see him. The first time I saw him, they're about to go nuts. Somebody. Okay, so it hasn't even been 7 days yet, and he is honestly a miracle. There's no other word for it. What he has done, what you guys have done to believe in a soul that others looked past for 3 days. Supposedly a vet saw twice, and they left him in a kill shelter in Wichita and did nothing for 3 days. And I share so many videos, and I truly do believe love is energy, and you can share that energy through touch. So I love this story. Julie was just sharing how you have to be up with him 24/7. He requires 24/7 care just to make sure the feeding tube, the catheter, he has an abdominal drain because he was cut from the top of his chest all the way down when they did that exploratory surgery. So he's got a ton of tubes. And as I was sharing how much I missed him just by visiting him yesterday, she shared how last night around 1:30 in the morning, he took a gigantic poop, which is tremendous. Like, this is so good that his insides are working and that it's processing. But imagine somebody inside your stomach removing all these foreign objects and putting it back together, and how the healing process takes. So the fact that he was able to have a very good bowel movement, but she shared how she probably got like an hour and a half of sleep last night, and she gave herself just a little sliver right next to him, and you saw the setup that he had in her home, and she fell asleep holding his hand. And I was so jealous of that. It's just one of the most beautiful things, because I have shared a million times when we purchased our KCMO property and we did the whole Imagine a Place. The one thing that I see us having a vet center there where when human beings are with an animal, especially if it's one that either never has had love or the only love that they have known is yours, by holding them, by being with them, you give them a reason to stay, especially when they're struggling, especially when they're fighting with every ounce of their being to live one more day, to take another breath, to fight through and heal all the pain that's going on inside of him. And this boy, when he wags his tail and he looks you in the eye, you're a puddle. You literally cannot help and love him with all of your heart. And so to watch the incredible care that the vet team is giving at with Dr. Millard's team and every other doctor there and their staff, their vet techs, guys, it is amazing. He is surrounded by love every single moment. And this is a soul someone else literally looked past as if they were worthless. Not someone else, multiple people for days in a shelter. And we can make a million excuses in the world. The bottom line is there'll always be an excuse. And shelters do not have to be run this way. Ours aren't. And, you know, they can scream, people can scream and shout, well, it's a high intake municipal shelter. Nobody's in there. Unless you're in there, you know. We have been begging to be let inside that shelter for 6 months. For 6 months, I have written emails to the city manager, the mayor, the lieutenant that runs it. This is a shelter, Wichita Animal Shelter, that is run by the police. We have begged to be let in there. Let rescues in for 9 years. Beauties and Beasts was in there, and they proved that they could do it because there's a gap. So let me just take a moment and explain how Wichita Animal Shelter is set up. Many, many years ago, a family, I'm not even sure the name of them, donated 2 buildings to the city of Wichita. 2 buildings side by side here, okay? And one is run by Wichita Police Department. It's called Wichita Animal Shelter. And the other building, the city of Wichita rents out to the Kansas Humane Society of Wichita. They are a non-profit animal shelter. Exactly like Always and Furever. Same license as us. They occupy that building for $1 a year. They take in that lease agreement, they have a joint operating agreement, whereby they medically assess all of the animals that are brought into Wichita Animal Shelter, all of the strays. They medically assess them and they determine if they need medical treatment. They also do the behavioral assessments as well for them to determine if they want to save their life and walk them right over to this building over here. One building has hope. One building has fear and death. And I know that's a very hard statement to say, but literally no one is able to walk over to this building, Wichita Animal Shelter, and pull a single animal from there unless KHS, Kansas Humane Society, says it's okay. 2 buildings here, 2 different entities. Wichita Animal Shelter, run by the Wichita Police Department, Kansas Humane Society, where they have a $1 a year lease, where they're also paid, I think it's about $70,000 a year, to have their vet medically assess all the animals that come in. Now, okay, let's talk about overworked, overwhelmed, yada, yada. Name a single organization that isn't overworked, that isn't overwhelmed, that people don't push themselves to the brink of their limits every day, but put one person with passion and purpose in there, and the world changes. Everything starts with leadership. Everything starts with culture. How do you value these animals? Are they inventory or are they souls? If you walk around here and you look at them and you say, who can I get adopted most? Who can I place in a home most? I'm going to say the healthy puppies. I'm going to say the purebreds. So what do? They pull all the healthy puppies and they pull all the purebreds over here. And then they sell them. There's really no other way to sell them. They slap a price tag on them. There's no background check. There's no reference check. It's literally pay a fee and walk out with an animal. Now, let me be clear on this too. Do they save a lot of lives? Absolutely. They save thousands of lives every year. Do they do good with that purpose? Yes. Are there good people in Kansas Humane Society? Yes. Are there good people in Wichita Animal Shelter? I hesitate on that one, but I do believe there are. Are there the wrong people running either organization? Yes. Why? Because animals like Mikhail are left suffering. when this organization chooses not to pull them and walk them over here and not to reach out to other rescues until 3 days later, when his stomach was full of garbage, when there was obstruction, when he was laying there in his own feces with a bowl of food shoved at his head, still completely full. So to say that he was on a refeeding program isn't fair. What does that mean? Throw a bowl of food at a dog? Oh, we've had him. He didn't move. He laid lifeless. We literally saw a dog that looked dead when we got him. And that was a struggle that we had for many, many hours when we brought him to us, because was it ethically the right thing to try to save his life? Or should we have let him go? And I will tell you this one thing too. Do I believe that a vet saw Mikhail? Do I personally believe, this is my personal view? No. Because any single vet that would have seen this dog in the condition he was in, I think would have compassionately let him go. Am I kind of glad they didn't? Yeah, because now he's with us and this dog wants to live. Look in his eyes. You feel his spirit when he looks up with you, and you give him just a little bit of spray cheese, his eyes light up. I know we shouldn't give him a lot of spray cheese. We're watching that. But guys, there's joy inside that soul. I know it in there, but he's got to get to where he's healthy enough to where he can eat on his own, he can walk on his own, and he is absolutely not out of the woods yet. So we see the videos of him being assisted and walking, and we see the videos of him wagging his tail and looking up, and there is so much life in him. But literally because we believed his life was worth simply trying to save. And that's what we are. That's what we do. That's our mission statement. Our dream is to wake up in a world where every soul is treated with kindness, dignity, respect, and most importantly, their life has been touched by love, even if only for a moment. But that's what this is about. It's about the moments. It's about, even if he only had a car ride with us, then he had classical music and he had hands on him telling him that he was a good boy and that someone loved him and that someone is holding him, even if it was just for the goodbye. So what happened behind the scenes, what you see right now, it's everything. Everything is a miracle that has brought him here to show that there should not be closed doors. Why aren't photos allowed? Why aren't people allowed to walk the halls and take a picture and promote? And what are you hiding? What are you hiding by people out? And Mikhail has shown the world what Wichita Animal Shelter is hiding. Everybody has to do better. And we have to stop accepting things for as bad as they are, just because that's the way it's always been. Just because other shelters are overwhelmed and underpaid and underworked, where is the money going then? Guys, this is your shelter. This is a taxpayer-funded shelter. The only way anything ever changes is when citizens come together and say, enough is enough. Let's be the change together. Let Always and Forever in. Let Beauties and Beasts let back in. Let other rescues pull directly from Wichita Animal Shelter. Why does it have to go only through KHS? Why can't other rescues pull directly? There is no logical reason. None. Because if anybody truly, if all of them truly cared about the animals over here, everyone would be able to pull from there. And when I say pull, it's tag, it's transfer, it's save a life. Why does it have to go through Kansas Humane Society to go to other rescues? It makes no sense. And why is it run by the police? I will be the first one to say, right now, if somebody gave me the gun, I would be the worst policewoman out there, because I wouldn't know what I was doing, because I wasn't trained in it, because I wouldn't have any behavioral background or know what to do. So why put police in an animal shelter when they're not trained in animal behavior, when they don't know what to do with aggression, when they're deeming aggression based upon very little info, not based on behavioralists and not based on trainers? Why not use the people that are educated and invested with the passion and the mission and the purpose to make the changes, not only to direct them to change, but to physically be the change that we want to see in Wichita Animal Shelter. And guys, we can do it. We have done it with Osawatomie before. We do it every single day in the 3 different shelters we run. And we actually do it on the same scale. Just, we have 100 dogs just in different locations. So when you put it in the same locations, go to our website and you can look at alwaysinforever.org and click on Wichita. We probably spent, I'm not exaggerating, at least 100 hours drafting this request for proposal response. So you can see what we would do in there. It would be continuous rounds. It would be different eyes on every dog, because what's really, really funny too is I'm in the Little Red Barn every single day. So I see these dogs every day and I don't notice if they lose weight, but a new person that might not see them every morning could be like, hey, Gibson's losing a little weight. And so what do? Every Friday we track their weights too. So continuous rounds, different eyes, vet techs on there. There's so many little ways that they can start saving lives, and not even saving lives, that they can prevent animals from suffering just by letting you and me in. Because it's not about running around the shelter and taking photos of finger pointing and judging and saying, look at these awful things that are happening. Guys, awful things are happening. Let us help change it. It's that simple. We know how to do it. One of the simplest ways, let's say you have this problem in your shelter near you, because I know this is a problem truly all across America. One of the very best ways you can be an animal advocate is to going into the shelters and taking photos of the animals there. Taking photos, crouch down at their level, okay? Look them in the eye. Make sure the photos aren't blurry. Don't have your feet in the photos. Don't have your finger on top of the lens. A clear photo. Tell their story. Tell what the background is. Found as a stray. Owner surrendered. Owner died. The more social media is one of the very best ways you and me can help save animals in shelters, but you gotta go in there. You gotta have the courage to go in there and take the photos, or you gotta have the right to be in there. Wichita Animal Shelter is not letting us in the shelter. Kansas Humane Society, even if they did, Kansas Humane Society is blocking rescues and shelters from pulling unless they sign an agreement that says they will not come on social media or in any public forum and say anything derogatory about Kansas Humane Society or Wichita Animal Shelter, or say the dog has or cat has a death sentence. Let that sit for a second. You can't take a photo of a dog behind bars, which is a prison, and you can't say this dog will die at 5 p.m. tonight at Wichita Animal Shelter unless someone tags it. If you put that post up, per Kansas Humane Society agreement, you will be blocked from saving a life. If you put up a post and share a photo that states the truth. My question is why? Why stop people and rescues from saving lives? None of that would stop Kansas Humane Society from pulling as many dogs as they want from here. Look at all of the ones they want to choose. Walk over here, out to the public. What about the ones they don't choose? What about the McHales that sit over here, that are overlooked and suffer, that multiple eyes have seen and saw for 3 days, and he was left there, lifeless? If you don't have the right eyes looking at these animals, then nothing will change. And then none of this will have mattered if we all stay silent. Because what will happen? A week will pass, 2 weeks will pass, a month or two, and people will forget. And there'll be more and more McHales that suffer in silence and die without us even knowing. So as much as we root and we cheer and we pray and we rally for McHale, we have to rally and we have to cheer and we have to say, enough is enough. Let us in. let us help. Can you just imagine if the city let us in right now, how this would turn to hope? How everything would be spun around to say, look what we're going to do together. One single day at a time. And there will never, ever be one more animal like Mikhail or like Dwight that gets looked at by someone that leaves them there to suffer. You guys are the only way, you and me, your email, your phone call, your voice. Your voice is their voice. And it's powerful. Because if we stop speaking, then they keep dying. So please, please, please email the city of Wichita, email the mayor, email the chief of police. It's a simple ask. Let rescues in. Let them pull directly from Wichita Animal Shelter. Let us help. Let us take photos. Let us, guys, go back and, okay, so there's a good question there. Angie just asked, how did you get him out? We are a rescue that is 100% transparent. We are not allowed to pull from Kansas Humane Society to save a life from Wichita Animal Shelter. Because remember, 2 buildings here, only animals can walk over here. They transfer all the animals out. If you're a rescue over here, you want to save a life at Wichita Animal Shelter, you have to go to Kansas Humane Society. That makes sense, right? Why this? Why isn't it just every rescue everywhere go right here? Okay, so what do? We could not sign that agreement because number one, I would not be allowed to come on any of this, and we couldn't share Mikhail's story. We could not share the truth. We would be blocked. We're blocked anyways. So, but here's the thing. There are other very, very good rescues that have signed the agreement that really do a ton of great work, and they pull for us. So what happened was a rescue tagged. They knew they didn't have the resources to take on his medical care. They reached out to us for help, and they legally transferred Mikhail to our care, and we immediately took over. So 100% legal, 100% ridiculous, because here we are talking about the ones that are suffering in silence, and something has to change. So October 18th, we will be in the city of Wichita, and we will walk to City Hall, and we will place 1,500 collars at the steps of City Hall. You might ask why 1,500 collars? 1,500 collars represents the number of animals that have been euthanized this year at Wichita Animal Shelter. Wichita Animal Shelter, before this agreement was put in place, was at a 2 to 4% youth rate for the past 9 years. Now they're close to 30%. 1 in every 3 animals never walks out. So if you can join us, it doesn't matter if you're from Wichita or not. If you share the same dream and passion and mission, please come with us, and we will stand together, and we will place the collars there, and we will beg for change. I am not above begging when it comes to something I believe in and something I know we can change, and we are willing. We're not demanding it. We're asking to let us be it. Let us help. So I don't know, I got kind of all over the place on this live as my dogs were jumping all over each other, and now they're passed out behind me. So guys, thank you. I should have started this off with a thank you, because this doesn't happen without all of you who believe that the Mikhails and every single other animal that just about everyone else gives up on is worth loving, is worth trying to save, is worth giving everything we have so that they know just one moment of love. And sometimes it really is just one moment, and it's going to be an incredible movement. And I truly do pray that we don't get to October 18th where we have that rally, because I hope things will change before that. We have about 800 collars right now that are donated. So we're just about halfway there. So Always and Forever will, if you want to send old ones to us, new ones, Lori just said Dollar Tree has one for $1.25 each. Just take a moment and think of all those collars on the steps. Think of 2 collars that you hold in your hand and look at them and just imagine the life that once had that collar around its neck. And nobody fought for it. Nobody reached out to any rescues and said help before this dies publicly. Social media is a rescue's best friend and a shelter's best friend. Why aren't they being posted? I get that Kansas Humane Society can't save everyone. I understand that. We can't save everyone. But you know what? We are going to die trying, because we'll reach out to anyone and we will work with anyone that has the same mission and values as us, that sees these animals as souls and not inventory. And that's the thing. Go back to here. Who runs these organizations? What is the culture? How are they viewed? And how are they valued? Everything starts at the top. And if they're not souls to the people that run the organization, then it will never matter what the youth rate is over here if that youth rate doesn't affect the people that care over there, that control it. So, got off topic on that. What's going on with Mikhail? I want to call him Michael because I've been calling him Michael. I'm getting used to calling him Mikhail. What's going on with that? Every day is a gift, and it really is moment for moment. He lost a little bit of weight in the move, but that's to be expected because he is pooping and he is processing. So we're upping the food. We just need your prayers. We need your prayers. We need your faith. We need your hope. And you guys have been amazing prayer warriors on this journey. And I can't think of anything else when it comes to him. We will keep you posted every step of the way. Why are there so many posts about him? Because this doesn't exist without all of us. So I'm addicted. I don't know if you're addicted. His energy, his hope, his joy, everything in his eyes is contagious. And he gives me hope to keep talking about this. He gives me courage to go on social media and say, this isn't right. And to potentially make enemies. I don't believe I have any enemies. And I don't believe that sharing the truth is shaming anyone or bullying or whatever you want to call it. You have to hold people accountable. You have to hold people accountable for injustices, or even in situations where if you are entrusted with a soul's life, just because other shelters accept these subpar standards doesn't make it okay. It never does. And that's why we should have more people coming on and saying, why is this acceptable in a shelter? Why aren't the standards higher? Especially when it's taxpayers' money. Now, I say especially, but when it's donors' money as well. I mean, how do you want your shelter to be? And that's really what it goes down to. When I shared Imagine a Place, imagine a place where old dogs, sick dogs, young dogs, all dogs live together in peace, and cats, and you just love them like your own. That's it. And I know I'm a broken record, but I'm a broken record that has the same crazy, crazy faith. And we're an organization that has the same belief day in and day out, that we are here for a reason. And it's so simple. It really is just to love. Love each other and love animals like our own. Because we might be the only ones that ever touch their life with love. And that's why you see our staff every day, and all the photos and all the videos give their entire heart to them. So that's all I have for tonight. Guys, we've got an incredible match opportunity the entire month of September for our Osawatomie shelter, where literally it was a 100% kill shelter before we went in. And for the past 5 years now, it had not one single animal has ever died for space. And that's why we know, even if it's on a smaller scale, we can do it. It's been done. There are phenomenal shelters out there that every single day prove that it's possible. But the only way that it is possible is if we work together. And the only way to get there is if we keep speaking up. And until that day comes, we can never give up that change is possible. Mikhail and all the other dogs and cats that suffer in silence need us to believe that change is possible. So on that note, we'll keep you posted along the way, and thank you. Thank you for believing. Thank you for your faith. Thank you for your heart. And thanks for taking the time to listen to this, because I know everybody is super busy. And I hope you have a beautiful Tuesday night, and we will keep you updated every step along the way of his progress. Bye, guys.